Greetings, beloved. I am Iyanla Vanzant, and you're watching In This Room on MadameNoire.
What's up? What's up? What's up?
I don't know if a particular guest stood out to me as much as how the issues of the season really shaped themselves and became consistent. The issue of believing that you're powerless and therefore giving your power to someone else or to an experience and then blaming that experience for what you do as a result. And the other issue that unfolded through the stories were generational curses, family curses that just moved from one generation to the next. And the guests who were present with me really wanted to stop the passing on of whatever the issue was. Well, first of all, own it. And you got to own the bad behavior, even the bad behavior you see. What makes people unable to hear our correction or receive our feedback is when we make them wrong. So one of the ways to do is, I know you like to cuss at the dinner table, but that doesn't feel good for me. So my request is, that's the key. Don't just attack the bad behavior, make a behavior change request. So my request is that you don't cuss at the dinner table. And now, consequence, this is how you hold people accountable. And if you do, what will happen is, and what's the consequence? So you identify the behavior, you make a behavior change request, and then you announce the consequence for what will happen if the behavior continues. I don't know what would be helpful for her. I don't have that kind of power. This is what I know. The Braxtons invited me onto their platform to support them in healing an upset. They had a clear vision and a clear intention. And my work was to support them in getting from where they were to where they wanted to be. They get a chance to move or not to move. They get a chance to be resistant or to go along with it. I did what I was supposed to do. Tamar gets to choose how she responds to that. I know this. I'm not in the business, have never been in the business of dishonoring, disrespecting, diminishing, or dismissing Black women. So when I heard about all of these allegations, I said, that's her choice. Here's what I know. What goes around comes around. And I'm an elder. My job is to pray for her, and that's what I'll do. No, I was very clear in the episode. I spoke very clearly to her father. I have to do one of two things. I have to make her angry or I have to make her sad so that we get an opportunity to see what's up underneath this blank quietness, this voice that can barely be. I knew it was there. What I didn't anticipate was that he would not be able to control her or contain her. I didn't anticipate that. But I wouldn't do anything any different because what I did is exactly what the Holy Spirit told me to do. What she confirmed for me was, she was the youngest person that we've ever had on the show to do the work. We've had young people say hi, pass through with their parents. I never do people her age because they don't have the capacity. She just didn't have the capacity. But remember, her mother wrote in, and her mother was supposed to be there. And then 2 days out, her mother dropped out. And then the father came because the mother and the father both had the same challenge, which was they didn't want her in relationship with the woman who abducted her. So my lesson would be, under a certain age, we don't do. But I did exactly what I was supposed to do. And she needed to know, and her family needed to know, that was in there. Because with that little squeaky voice, people would think she's a ticking time bomb. And that, what she did, that'll happen in college, in the supermarket, on the street, and it's not going to turn out well for her. Absolutely not. I am a minister. I am a spiritual life coach. People who ain't been to therapy don't even know what therapy is. So And I know they've used that to kind of diminish and dismiss what I do. Here's what they need to know. I don't go looking for anybody. Everybody on Fix My Life has come to me. They go through an extensive clearing process, and the 3 things that I, as a coach, look for, and you can check it in any coaching manual, any coach training, the client has to have an articulated vision or a clear intention of what they're going for. That's what I use to govern my show. What is your intention? What do you want to be different when you leave here? What's at stake? And what are you willing to do? That's what a coach does. That's what I do. Never told anybody I was a therapist. However, not only am I a trained and licensed life coach, I am a minister. I have a master's degree in spiritual psychology, and I've studied a variety of spiritual technologies that most people don't even know about. But isn't it interesting? Do they question Dr. Phil? Do they question Steve Harvey? Do they question these people that put out advice and things in the world that just because that's who they are? Do they question them? And that's not about Dr. Phil or Steve Harvey. That's about how willing people are to diminish and dismiss A, women, and B, how people find a way to negate you once you step up in their world.